Thanks. On to a story that we reported yesterday. Sources say that the government's Expenditure Finance Committee has approved home loan subsidy scheme. It is expected to be part of the PMAY scheme, and the size will be about 60,000 crore rupees over a 5-year period. Mr. Dinesh Kumar Khara is chairman of the country's largest bank, State Bank of India. He's joining us on the phone line to talk to us about what this could mean. Mr. Khara, it's a great pleasure to welcome you as always here on CNBC TV 18, sir. Thank you, Prashant here. Could your first thoughts, sir, on this particular development, and what would this mean in giving a thrust to the home loan segment, the housing finance segment?
Thank you very much for having me on your channel. And when it comes to this particular scheme and the broad contours which I've read today in the newspaper, it gives you an impression that it will certainly be a very positive in terms of increasing the demand for home loans and also for the homes in general. Because what we had observed that the earlier scheme had a lower cap, and also on account of the cost escalation, many of the borrowers were not eligible to avail the benefit in this scheme. My sense is that it will be a very major positive boost for pushing the home demand.
Mr. Khara, you have the best bird's eye view of how the previous efforts have panned out. You said there were some hindrances, lower cap, etc. Could you tell us the experience of the the scheme as it was being implemented so far? What was the size, the quantum?
Implemented very well.
Yeah.
No, so far it has been implemented very well. The PMAY Urban scheme is very well implemented. The only thing is that over the period of time, the cost goes up, so which actually means that some people who would have been otherwise eligible, but on account of the increased cost, they were not eligible. So in this particular effort, even those people will also be covered. So that is what my understanding is.
So this limit of 50 lakhs was lower earlier.
Yeah.
So this now raises that cap.
It was actually lower. It was lower. So now that has been increased.
Okay. And any sense on how this could boost demand? I mean, by how much? Is there a broad sense how to look at the number? 60,000 crores over a period of 5 years is what we have.
I expect that broad number. It is actually back of the envelope calculation. Another maybe about 50 lakhs plus home loans could be granted, 50 lakh plus. So it was already about 1 crore plus, which was there in the PMAY Urban. So I think this will add to at least another 50 to 60 lakh more home loans.
50 to 60 lakh home loans over a period of these 5 years, sir?
Yeah.
Okay.
The current scheme had covered about 1.2, I think about 12 million. That is the number which I have rough estimation. So almost 50% of that can be added in this particular scheme.
That seems to be a very meaningful addition, sir.
Yes, absolutely.
And what would these would be generally? I mean, in your assessment, closer to that 50 lakh number, sir, in terms of size, or would it be lower in terms of the size of the loan?
It would be somewhere around it is just back of the envelope calculation. Maybe we'll have to look into it in more closer terms once we have the contours of the scheme. But broad assessment is somewhere around like that. Just under 50 odd lakhs is broad assessment. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. What is SBI's share, sir, of the sort of annual home loan market?
We have our market share would be somewhere around 30% or so.
Okay, so you're the largest player in the space.
Yes, you're right. We are at about 6.7 trillion.
Okay, 6.7 lakh crores. Got it, sir. Sir, since I have you on the line, if you could just answer a few more questions. What's your assessment of rates in the system, sir? Because the big story, the big talking point has been US interest rates pushing higher to unprecedented levels, and that pulling rates around the world higher. I mean, here in India as well, we've been impacted to a lesser degree, but we have been impacted. What is your own assessment, sir? What this will mean for financial entities, banks in particular?
See, as far as Indian banks are concerned, we have got our liability mix essentially coming from the domestic market. And domestic market is to a greater extent quite insulated from the global financial markets as far as the banks are concerned. So I think to that extent, I think we'll have to probably wait and watch for having a very clear trend. As of now, we don't see much of a challenge. Whatever we are observing cannot perhaps be termed as a trend line.
In the first quarter, most banks and financial entities saw some compression in net interest margins, sir. Would you expect some of that in the second quarter as well?
I think we'll have to wait and watch. I will not be in a position to comment right now on this.
Okay. So we are also talking to you in the week of the RBI policy. Any expectations?
We expect it to be paused.
Okay, a pause. All right, fair enough. Mr. Khara, it's a pleasure, sir. Thank you very much for speaking with us here. I know you've got a busy schedule, but thank you very much for taking the phone call and explaining the impact of the home loan interest rate subvention scheme, which, as we reported, perhaps is going to be rolled out. No firm timeline yet, but it's a large one. And Mr. Khara said there were about 1 crore loans which were dispersed under the previous PMAY scheme, and he expects about 50 to 60 lakhs 50 lakh home loans under the new one. So this is, of course, over a period of 5 years. So pretty meaningful bump for, of course, large banks, etc., but even for home finance companies, which are much smaller, which would also mean that the needle moves in a much larger way for the smaller companies and not for larger entities like SBI, which basically are giants in the system. 30% market share in the home loan segment, as Mr. Khara pointed out. Just